Earth Day is this month, and the attention to the environment has been increasing with talks of climate change and global warming. So what are some things that we should actually look out for, and what can we do as residents of Greater West Bloomfield? Joining me right here live on The Splash to add a little bit more context and answer those questions, we have local resident who's appointed as a leader of Al Gore's Climate Reality Project, Mr. Joel Brown, joining The Splash. Thank you for being here, Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Kevin, for having me today.
Man, we appreciate that first and foremost. Ready to pick your brain of all the knowledge that you do have, sir. But first and foremost, I want to talk about a piece of work that you've done and put out there already. It's on YouTube. It's called The Bigger Picture, Climate Change by Joel Brown. Why don't you just give us an overview of what this content actually is?
Well, it's basically to address two things. One is to explain that what is going on is one of the most profound moments in history of man,
right?
And to explain what it is and how it works. And then there is the addressing of how one approaches it, finds something meaningful and purposeful in it, and the best way to cope with it, because it's an issue that creates a lot of anxiety in people. And we want to be able to overcome that so we can feel not depressed and anxious, but we will be able to have self-esteem, have active action, be able to have agency, and basically avoid the depression and have enthusiasm.
Yeah. Well said overall. Looking forward to sharing that piece of production with the rest of our audience as well. And just in case they want to go check it out, The Bigger Picture, Climate Change by Joel Brown on YouTube as well. So I want to kind of localize this global talk of climate change first and foremost. How do you see the accelerating pace of climate change impacting our local residents in Greater West Bloomfield? Are there any signs we should be attentive to?
Well, a number of years back, we had a tornado in West Bloomfield. That's considered to be an extreme weather event, something you don't have control over while it's going on and until it's finished doing its thing. So we've had 15, 16 tornadoes in the state of Michigan in the past year, and we've already had that many already. So we're having a acceleration in the numbers, intensity of these climate change events. And every township needs to be mitigating and preparing and having a mindfulness so that when these things happen, and it will happen everywhere, sooner or later, we're going to have exposure to these things, that we can manage it, be prepared for it, and try to slow the causes of it so that we have time to actually get it stopped and worsening.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you something right now. If I see a tornado or if I'm around a tornado, I know something's definitely wrong with the climate and the weather and global warming in general. So, yeah, that just seems like one of the most obvious things that we can look out for to know that there's something wrong for us to talk about and to do some things with. So I want to, oh, no, go ahead. Were you going to elaborate a little bit more?
I'm just going to say, well, we've had tornadoes forever, but It's the point is that they are multiplying in frequency. They are growing in intensity and worsening because of the carbon emissions that we are putting up that human beings are putting up into the atmosphere. And we have to stop this, or it's going to continue worsening until it's no longer a habitable place to live in. So we're the ones that are doing it by mistake, how it happened, but it's happening and it continues to happen, and this is our responsibility now.
Right. No, well said. And with that being said, if I'm not mistaken, I want you to take this time to correct me on something. When I was consuming some of your content, if I'm not mistaken, you mentioned climate tipping points. I want you to elaborate a little bit more on this. Are those tornadoes a sign of that? Explain what climate tipping points mean.
No. A tipping point has to do with a process of life. In other words, look, we're all born, we grow, we're stable, we're healthy. As we age, we start deteriorating and things start happening. When a person or a species or what's called an ecosystem that supports life starts breaking down, what happens is as it deteriorates because of the climate or the various conditions in the environment, it can accelerate. And as it accelerates, it all of a sudden accelerates very quickly and went fast. And then it collapses and goes into runaway and breakdown. And that's it. That's the death. So that happens. We know that happens with people. It happens in nature. And our ecosystems that we're dependent on to keep us alive on the planet are deteriorating. And if they cross, it's like when you, if you boil water, and it's for a long time, it can be cooking, and all of a sudden it's boiling and it is emitting gas instead from the water.
Correct.
So that's a big change. This is an example. Or you could stack bricks, let's say, not bricks, but blocks, and you get going up, keeping balance, but all of a sudden the top block breaks down the whole thing and it collapses. That's an acceleration. So when you have the tipping point, it's in a process that we don't want to pass the tipping point, because then you are in danger of going into not only acceleration, but a runaway and breakdown.
Oh, wow. Wow. I'm going to be honest. You painted that picture very clear for me and our audience. I want to say that. And I got to be honest, sir, that sounds like extremely bad news, which it is. But is there any good news? Is there any positives that we can take out of this conversation?
Oh, yes. Yes. I think the first thing is, you're absolutely right. It is a cause for anxiety and fear and anger, all those kinds of sadness. And that's a normal human reaction. And part of the response, see, here's the thing. If you want to be in denial to maintain optimism, that's a strategy that's okay as long as you're doing something to stop it. But if you go into denial and do nothing, you don't have a chance.
Yeah.
So the real response, instead of denial, which is very dangerous, is to engage it. And the first step with my talk is basically to get people started on what I call level 1 and level 2, which has to do with their home, in their community, with people, their family that they love, and friends, the community, and they have people who will help support them and be participating in activities that make things better. And then the second stage is doing something in the county or in the state. And I will give you a couple suggestions for the audience. When you're ready, I'll give you a couple of things you can do right here in the local area to get yourself involved.
Perfect. Okay, we are going to dive into that. With me right here live on The Splash, by the way, local resident and someone who's appointed as leader of Al Gore's Climate Reality Project, Mr. Joel Brown, speaking to climate change, global warming, and his project, The Bigger Picture Climate Change, on YouTube as well. Now, I just want to ask you this real quick before we get into some of those resources and things that people can do.
Sure.
Locally, in our greater West Bloomfield area, we're known for our bodies of water, our lakes, and things of that nature. What are some of the effects we'll see with, or possibly see with some of our lakes, our bodies of water that we enjoy, due to the causes or the effects of global warming and climate change?
Well, let's take something in a much more constructive way, because there's a lot to explain in the science, and we don't have the time right now.
Okay.
But I do want to say, you've got activities that will engage and improve the water, the air, the land and one of them is West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation. You just go onto the website, parks.com, you'll find some things there. And if you need to call up the Parks and Rec folks, they're happy to help you get active. Now, besides that, they're a part of another organization called Turn Oakland County Green. And not only them, but one of the organizations I mentioned in my talk is sierraclub.com. And you put in whatever state that you're in and then the word chapter. So it's sierraclub.com/ we'll say Michigan chapter. And it comes all the chapters in the state of Michigan that you can get involved with. And they do everything from going to the state capitol and talking to the planning, talking to the legislatures, planting trees, working on cleaning up the lakes. If your concern is air pollution, whatever you have an interest in.
Right.
In your personal relationship with nature. And if you don't have a personal relationship with nature, that's critical. You have to realize this is the mother, of us all. And in this regards, it's something sacred about it. Life, nature, mind, animals, all the mammals, millions of species. It's a system, and we have to treat it like it's a living thing, not just something to exploit. You understand? So we talk about that in the talk. And this is a change in attitude. And it's our responsibility now to balance our needs with nature and taking care of it. National parks, you can't take anything out of the park. You can't damage the park. You have to stay on certain trails. The same type of thing. We have to start have an ecological consciousness, they call it, a consciousness of nature in our relationship to it. And if we brutalize nature, as we have been doing, we are going to, it's like being on a limb of a tree. You cut the limb down. Are you cutting the limb? You're going to fall.
Yeah. No, I love the way that you're relating that and making it more personalized as well. A topic that is global with that being said. And WBParks.org for more information regarding WB Parks, West Bloomfield Parks, and their initiatives and program. Mr. Brown, love everything that you've given us. Appreciate your time. Lastly, before I let you go, I think this is the most important. What message or call to action would you like to share with our greater West Bloomfield residents to inspire them to take part in the global fight against climate change?
Well, the thing I want to say is that you need to take a look at yourself and what do you love? Is it nature? Is it mankind? Is it your kids or your grandkids? Is it children of all generations? Whatever you love, that gives you the purpose. This is what this is first and foremost about. You do something that you feel is something that's love-worthy. And when you're doing this work to deal with these challenges, you have a purpose. You bring your talents to it. You're working with other people who you're supporting. They're supporting you, and they're admiring you. Listen, you want to have self-esteem, and you want to have energy. You don't want to go down the hole doing nothing. That's the most important inspiration. Is for your mental and physical health and that of your family.
I will 100% agree. Take care of the things that matter most to you and find your why within that, and then we can all have a better economy or ecosystem, I should say, and community as well. I want to thank you so much for your time and your extremely valuable information. Once again, local resident who was appointed as a leader of Al Gore's Climate Reality Project, Mr. Joel Brown. Thank you again.
Thanks, Kevin. Bye-bye now.